Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Take the Black Live, the show on the internet where myself, Dan Selke of winteriscoming.net, and Mia Johnson of dorksideoftheforce.com talk all things fantasy, sci-fi, books, TV, movies, Star Wars, Marvel, Game of Thrones, etc. and so forth. And this week, theme parks, because Mia, I see by your headgear that you have recently come back from your grand adventure to, it was Disney World in Florida, right? Not Disneyland in California.
Right, Disney World, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, obviously, it looked like you had fun. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that you had at least a 7 on a scale of 10 of a time.
Yeah, I had a really, really good time. Gosh, yeah, it was about 7 days of me and my family kind of being in Florida and enjoying like the 90-degree weather. I think I got a little tanner. I don't know if you can tell here. I definitely got a tan. We had an Airbnb in this huge house. So we had like a pool to ourselves as well for the first time ever. But yeah, it was really great. We did Disney's Hollywood Studios, Disney's Epcot, and then Universal Studios Orlando and Islands of Adventure in the same day. So it was really packed.
What is your favorite of those? Like you got the Epcot, you got Universal Studios, you got Disney World, the proper Disney World.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I would say last time I went to Magic Kingdom, which is kind of like the essential Disneyland copycat. But I did really, really enjoy Hollywood Studios because that's where they have Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which I went to for the very first time. And here's a picture of me with green milk, not blue milk. But I did try both of them. And for some reason, this is like hotly debated. Like, which one do you like better, green or blue milk? Yeah.
Is green milk from the movies? I remember the blue milk.
Yeah, this is something that they, to my knowledge, completely made up just for the part, just so they can kind of have a variety of things. They're like, yeah, blue milk and you have green milk. So
okay, fine.
Yeah, the best way for me to describe both of the tastes is that they taste
like. Is it alcoholic?
You can get them with alcohol. I did not, though. It was, but they taste like a melted popsicle, just a little bit thicker. So it's like the taste is kind of muted and fruity, but I think it's nice to have it once. Otherwise, I'm like, okay, that's kind of it. That was good. I also went on Rise of the Resistance, which now this is a process in and of itself, Dan. That's me
and is
my
that
brother
like
in the background.
The one Star Wars ride they have at the Galaxy's Edge, which is like the Star Wars theme park?
Right. This is actually, they have two. So one is Rise of Resistance and the other is Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. But the Rise of Resistance is the newer one. And they do a virtual queue system. So it's kind of like basically an online lottery. And you have 2 chances to enter this. One at 7 a.m. and then another at 1 p.m. And you have to like physically be in the park. So me and my family got our phones, woke up at 6:45. We went outside so you can get a clear signal and hoping to score these tickets. And it's not a guarantee, but we got them. We were like group 14, which is super duper early. That was like the first ride I went on, and it was really, really amazing. This is probably like the best, I don't know, I would say the best ride in the history of theme parks, and that says a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
That is a call claim. I mean, I saw your tweet and you said that like I may have been on tears during Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why it got to be like that, but it was like a Star Wars fan's dream. And even if you don't like Star Wars that much, I think you would be blown away.
I mean, it's not like a roller coaster, is it? It's like more of a, what is it?
Yeah, they call those dark rides. So what it is and I don't want to spoil it, but it's one of those, where you're going through the scenes and everything, but
sure,
it's like the line is very immersive. You've got this pre-show with Rey and BB-8, and you're supposed to be like
pre-show
in like a resistance camp, but then you get taken in by the First Order. So now you're like, it's like you're in one of their ships. Yeah. And so, you see Kylo Ren and the stormtroopers and these like life-size AT-ATs, those crawler, big walker things. So they really went above and beyond for this. And it was so immersive. And I was like, wow, you guys really did the darn thing. Yeah. So yeah, most of my time I took a selfie with a Loki poster that I spotted in the wild. They had Thad and Cruella, and
Oh, it's the same
so
ears you're wearing now.
they are my rose gold ears, my favorite color.
Gotta love rose
That I
gold.
did on my day. We were like just touring some of the resorts for Disney World, which are so awesome. Like as you can tell, I'm pretty much blown away by everything. But yeah, I really wanted to make a point of going to see Disney World's hotels by Magic Kingdom because these are like top of the line. They cost like $300 to $500 a night for no good reason
Ooh.
whatsoever. Yeah, but they're really nice. And
I
then
mean,
finally, oh, go ahead.
well, I'm saying like, is that the reason that they're really, really nice? Because I mean, I'm aware that there are these like that. It's a whole production down there, right? Because
Yeah.
it's not just the theme park that they get the money out of. They get the money out of the whole stay. They get the money out of, you coming down there, staying in their really expensive hotels and eating in their really expensive restaurants, and spending hours to get spending hours for a ride and spend money while you're there on the milk and everything, which is all great. But are they like themed or anything? Like, is there like the Snow White room you can stay in?
Um, sort of, kind of. The three that we toured, one was Polynesian themed, so you've got like Moana and Lilo and
Oh,
Stitch,
cool.
kind of. So it is really, really nice, and they give you like the flower necklaces to wear.
That's fun.
The other one is the Grand Floridian, which is like the most expensive Disney,
I've heard of that one.
yeah, hotel, and at least in Disney World, and it's kind of like a ballroom, sort of very classy. You can have a wedding
Ooh.
over there if you want. It's just that classy. So I really, really like that one. And the other is the Contemporary, which is kind of supposed to be like a modern, but it's got more like of a 50s, 60s modern vibe.
That's kind of fun.
And I think they're gonna theme that to The Incredibles. So you do get the theming. It is kind of there, but at the end of the day, when you look at the rooms, they are just hotel rooms.
Sure.
So you're just kind of there for the convenience and saying I'm at Disney.
The Floridian.
Yeah. So yeah. And then I also have a picture of me with some butterbeer. I had some of that over in Hogsmeade. I think that's in front of Honeyduke's.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I mean, Hogsmeade, the Harry Potter stuff, that's not part of Disney World. That's like
Right. That's Universal
that's Universal.
Studios. Yeah.
All right.
So they all kind of have, like their competing lands, like Harry Potter. And I think, I
Was
kind
that
of do like
alcoholic?
the Harry. I don't think they make alcoholic butterbeer. Maybe, but not.
Follow
at the
up
station I
question:
went to.
when are they going to start? Like that seems like an obvious. thing to do, but
Exactly.
okay.
Come on. Well, they're at Hogwarts. You're not really there to have a drink. You're there to study and.
But the students' parents are there, and sometimes they want to relax a little bit.
That's true. But yeah, over there, I really loved. I got to do Harry Potter Forbidden Journey finally because we didn't go over there last time. That one is really cool. You get to go through Hogwarts Castle and there's Dumbledore's
cool.
office and all that stuff. So yeah, did a lot of waiting in line though. A lot. If you guys are ever going to go on a trip and you're going to do that, just, sometimes you might have a walk-on ride. Other times I think, you might wait up to like 70 or 80 minutes just for a 3-minute ride. Yeah.
That is the theme park experience. I mean, I kind of like the idea of like a group thing because like then it's like you can walk around and they just text you when it's your time. Technology changing the way we do lines.
Yeah, that's what Rise of the Resistance was like. So sometimes you can do that. They had a new coaster that opened. I didn't do it. Called the Velocicoaster, based off of Jurassic World.
All right.
But yeah, that one didn't have a virtual line. It was just like, wait in line 75 minutes and you'll get on. So I think they'll be experimenting with that. Like fast pass systems, that kind of alleviates the wait time too. But otherwise, yeah, it was awesome. Oh, I did have you in mind when I went to this shop called World of Disney. Huge store as far as the eye can see with nothing but, Pixar and Star Wars and Marvel and all the other properties. I was like, oh my gosh, I can only imagine what Dan would think if he saw this.
And I disapprove. I'd be there and be like, how dare you try to shovel this stuff off on us? Have you no shame? Like, sir, could you please leave? I won't leave. Okay, fine. You're not my room.
there was a line to get into that store, mostly for COVID reasons. You know, you want to make sure it's not
of
at
course, yeah.
capacity, but there was a line just to get into that store. I was like, Disney, you really got us. Oh my goodness.
Well, I wanted to ask about that. And by the way, hello, Julie. Good to see you. If anybody of you watching has any comments, feel free to sound off. We'll respond. I wanted to ask about like the theme park experience sort of post COVID, because in a way, you aren't just a vacationer, you are a reporter from the front lines of a receding war against this virus. And you know, in the US anyway, COVID is sort of like winding down. More people are getting vaccinated, more people are going taking vacations, they're traveling, they're meeting up with people. And it sounds like it didn't really affect it that much. Like I was going to wonder if the like lines were any shorter because of COVID. It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, that I was really surprised about. And Disney to me seemed to do the best. And it really is all about your comfort level. Like if you're not comfortable around crowds at this moment, it's like this might not be for you. I know some people who, you know, had been a little apprehensive, but now they're, you know, they're vaccinated and you're like, okay, I feel more comfortable. Disney was pretty good. They still kind of social distance you in lines. Florida changed their rules though, so you didn't have to wear a mask outside, and in 90-degree weather, you're kind of like, okay, I think I need to breathe. And then Universal Orlando was completely like on the day before we went, they had just completely had mask optional. So again, it's you do what is comfortable for you. What made me mad with Orlando though is it felt like they what am I trying to say? They were no longer doing the capacity limits. Maybe because it was Memorial Day. I really didn't like that. It was super crowded. Lines were super long. We waited like 40 minutes just to get a hamburger for lunch. I really didn't like that, but
Can't think of.
you know, it's kind of like, well, what can you do about it? But yeah, it really feels like there's no change whatsoever aside from kind of like the plexiglass, and they still have line markers. I think they reduced it to 3 feet instead of 6. Still, most people didn't even abide by that, mostly because you're just kind of moving through line anyway. So it really is, you know, just kind of do what you're comfortable doing and, you know, go when you're comfortable to go out. But I still had a fun time, regardless of everything. I'm glad I went.
Oh, of course. I mean, it sounds like a blast. I was just, I don't know, I'm just wondering. I mean, it sounds like the theme park industry will bounce back maybe bigger than ever. I mean, because folk are going to be wanting to do more of that now that they spent a year foregoing it.
Let me see. I'm reading from Shannon. Universal has the passes. I think I did. I think you get fast passes if you book a Universal hotel. Yeah, like they said. And yeah, Florida is still a hot mess, regardless of how you look at it. Right after Halloween, shorter lines. Linda says November is the time to go. Yeah, I'll be considering that.
But before we move on, I will say, like, I don't think 90-degree weather is the weather for me. I probably would have like hit me at a good 70. Then I'm happy.
Yeah, it really gets you got to have like those mini fans with you and everything. It is. But I did it. I survived.
I mean, you survived and you thrived. But like in 90 degrees, I will be outside if I am completely submerged in a body of water. Like at that point, I will go outdoors. Other than that, I don't think I'm leaving for it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to go from like extreme summer weather to I guess today is about 70. I'm like, I like this. Let's keep it right here.
It's been lovely. Like this weekend was great here. Like a great just walking around. I love weather where it's like you could wear shorts or jeans and either one would be correct. I think it's always kind of fun.
Exactly. Yeah, none of that in Florida.
I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad theme parks are getting back in their feet. I'm glad things are opening up again. If you want to go, you know, stay safe. But I'm happy people are returning and enjoying themselves. And it clearly, like, as for someone like you who's a fan of Disney, who's a fan of this stuff, when is the Marvel campus opening? Is that going to be on like
4 days, or is it today? They actually, they have a live stream today with the park opening, and so look out for that later tonight or at some point today. Well, it's in Disneyland, and Disneyland isn't opening up to out-of-state people until the 15th, so I'll have to come back at another time to
next
Anaheim.
Vacation.
Exactly.
All right. Well, other than that, Mia, I'm glad you had a great time, and thanks for filling in when I was a little sick. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
But let's talk about some movie and TV stuff. What do you think?
Let's do it. It's getting
All right.
uncomfortable.
The- that's true. Like those hats are very like it's great that people are enthused about them, but like I don't know how they wear them for that long. I can't imagine what the folk in like the giant Mickey suits must be feeling
Yeah.
like, but especially in the 90-degree heat, were there any like giant mice walking around?
Oh yeah, lots of thick costumes, Goofy and Pluto, all of them.
I once talked to I interviewed a guy from Game of Thrones who played Bronzion Royce. I forget his gentleman's name. He said that on the sets with all like the like the hot lights down on like Winterfell
Ooh,
set, they had suits that actually like pumped water like underneath all that armor and stuff. They were like piping that kind of pumped cool water
wow.
around it to make sure they
Yeah,
stayed
you
a little
need that.
cooler.
They really need that down there in Florida.
Technology, man. Anyway, speaking of blistering heat, I thought we would, because there wasn't a whole lot of news this week, so I thought we'd take an opportunity to discuss something that's been getting some traction lately, and I'm looking forward to, but that there's a big question mark at the end of this, which I wouldn't mind hearing your opinion on. By the way, as Julie says, just entered winter. It's so cold. I hate it.
Ooh.
How cold does it get in
Yeah.
Australia in wintertime, Julie? I am wondering. Because I will say, cold for Chicagoans is like -10. So, Fahrenheit, which is
Fahrenheit, yeah.
different. Yes, I am genuinely curious about that. Anyway, I want to talk a bit about Dune, an upcoming movie from Warner Brothers, an adaptation of Frank Herbert's classic 1965 science fiction novel about the far future, when mankind has sworn off computers because they tried to kill us at one point. It's the whole thing, and basically now practice space feudalism,
Ooh.
where it's very like it's kind of like Game of Thrones with space lasers, where there are a bunch of big houses and they all control different planets, and they have trained people to kind of become human computers because the real thing is outlawed. And a lot of it takes place on Dune, this vast desert planet where the spice is made, which is a incredibly valuable substance that the universe turns on. It like extends your life. It gives you superpowers, basically. They did it for trading purposes because otherwise they can't navigate through space. They'll hit debris. It's a big important thing. And you only get it on Arrakis. You only get it on Dune. So whoever controls Dune, whoever controls the spice controls the universe. I've always known the series. I'm reading the books now. I'm like reading like all the books just because I don't know. I figured it's time, take the plunge, and I'm into it. And this is a series that has been around for decades and decades. Like since '65, and it's never like had a great film adaptation. It has a couple. David Lynch tried it in the '80s to like meh response.
Yeah.
Like the Sci-Fi Channel back when that was a thing adapted it, and it was better, but it was also like cost $9, so it never really caught on. This time they're going for it. Like this is, and now we come to 2021, the age of everyone wanting their own mega franchise, the age of everyone wanting a shared universe that they can kind of make 1,000 projects in. And someone said, "What about Dune?" It's detailed. There are like 6 books in it, plus a lot of others. The guy sons right after he died. It's a rich story, and it is. It's a deep story, and it is. Let's try it. So Denis Villeneuve, who I think is how you say his name, the guy behind Blade Runner 2049 and Arrival. Just either of those. That's both pretty good, especially
I saw the
Arrival. I
Blade
liked a
Runner,
lot.
yeah. Oh yeah, and
They're
Arrival.
solid.
I actually, those are 2 of my sort of favorite movies. I love those.
They're good. He's very, very good. Like I have I have confidence in him doing this well. But so he's making it. They shot it. It got delayed because of the pandemic. Timothy Chalamet is the main character, Paul Atreides. Jason Momoa is his sword master in Idaho. You got Josh Brolin. Thanos is in it. You got Stellan Skarsgård is in it. A pretty Zendaya is his love interest.
Oscar
Chani. There's
Isaac,
definitely
yeah.
Oscar Isaac is in it as his dad. Javier Bardem is the Fremen leader Stilgar. Like a lot, like a very impressive cast. And now that it's coming up, I think it's going out in like November, I believe. I didn't research that before this. And folks are starting to see it. And there was one fan who saw it, reported his findings to October 1st, to a Dune YouTube channel. And I thought we would just go over it a little bit because there's a strange twist this movie is taking that
Mm,
I would like to hear your opinion on, and all of your
okay.
opinions out there. And right after we get into this thing about temperature, we'll do it because I do want to know about this. As Julie says, where I am from, we don't get snow. You have to drive about an hour for that, but it still gets cold. Day average time is about 40 degrees Celsius. Not sure what the Fahrenheit is. Well, we're gonna find it out really
Yeah, I
fast.
can't do the quick maths in my head.
I want it quick. 57.2
57.2.
degrees, says Richard. And
Thanks.
yes,
Yeah.
Julie, it does feel like Dune has been going on forever. 57, 57. Okay, sorry, we shouldn't get too far into that.
Cool your
I
jets,
will
Dan.
say that is a nice spring day in Chicago.
Exactly.
Oh, we live in a frigid tundra wonderland. Anyway, Dune's been going on forever. And what I thought was interesting about what this guy was saying, he said it's about 2.5 hours. All right, fair enough. It's a big movie. It kind of is a slow pace movie, which makes sense for Denis Villeneuve. He's a pretty slow pace kind of guy. He loved Jason Momoa, thought he stole the show. He also talked about when the film ends. And the weird thing about Dune is that the movie is going to be the first half of the first book, which,
Mm.
all right, like you want to make a big series. And the guy said that it ends very abruptly, kind of like about a half a point through the novel. And I guess my question is, why would you do that, Mia? Is that a stupid decision? Because there's no guarantee a sequel is coming. Like, in fact,
Mhm.
Denis Villeneuve is one of those guys who got mad at Warner Brothers back when they were going to release everything in theaters and on HBO Max at the same time. Like, he's some good quotes. Like, you're going to ruin Dune. This is outrageous. Like, which personally I think it ended up working out pretty well for everybody. But yeah, that's me. That there are no plans for a sequel so far as I know. Like, no one's lined up. And what if, like, he's put his heart and soul into this thing and they put out half a great movie and then it doesn't do spectacularly and then they're like, well, that's it.
Ooh. Yeah, that's to me that doesn't sound very good. And it's kind of hard because it's like you're not necessarily starting from scratch. Like some people know it, some people don't, but I would wager, it doesn't have the same kind of appeal as like Avengers Infinity War where you can pull
that's
hey,
built
what
in.
if we only tell half the story and leave you hanging? Because that is a guaranteed audience. The people who saw that movie, Avengers, are going to come back to see the next one and maybe see it again and see it again. Dune will either have to be word of mouth where, people are intrigued to sit through this whole thing or, even have to you have to overcome the other stuff too, like the bad movie or the sci-fi series and say, no, it's going to be better because we have Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya and all that. Yeah, so I think that's kind of risky, and especially with the abrupt ending. I can imagine you're kind of like, okay, we're reaching time, we're getting to the end, but it doesn't feel like we've concluded the story anyway. So yeah, I can see how that's kind of tricky. And then I also have another concern, is getting this gigantic cast back together again for filming. That also seems like it's going to be a hassle, and if it's not
like
guaranteed,
their contract's up at that point.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like Bad News Bears to me. I don't know.
I agree with you. And I mean, yeah, I think the Marvel thing is a really good comparison because, yeah, like Infinity War and Endgame, like that was after how many movies, how many years? Like after they had a guaranteed built in, I need to see how this ends audience. Starting up from it, it does smack a little bit of putting the cart before the horse, a little bit of overconfidence. And, when you're trying to do this giant shared universe, like launch a huge 1,000 ships that'll steer you around the world, like you need things to be a hit.
Yeah.
And taking a big swing out the gate, it could be a very bad move. So I'm looking forward to it, but I hope they announce something really soon because I'm nervous they're dragging their feet way too long. Or maybe like Denis Villeneuve is still like really steamed about the whole HBO Max thing and they're just trying to talk him off a ledge.
Yeah, that's possible. I feel like, there's a guarantee that it will be in theaters. Now, when it comes to the sequel, that's another thing because it's like, okay, will they also double premiere that online or, on streaming and in theaters, or is he going to want to have it just exclusively in theaters if they can even swing that?
I think the deal is that they're going to start going back to just theaters in
Okay.
2022. Is what they said, and I think they
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
By the way, like I've read Dune, like it's dense, but it's not. You could do a 3-hour movie out of it. It's not like you need to split it up.
Yeah,
especially if it's like goes very slow, like this guy is saying. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's what
We'll see
troubles
what
me is
happens,
the
man.
slow stuff, is this kind of dense material, and we're dragging out scenes, and I don't know. We'll see.
It might have something to do with the business climate. Let's talk business stuff
Ooh.
briefly, because there are some movements in the streaming wars happening. Did you hear that? I think the week I was gone, y'all talked about AT&T spinning off Warner Media, or maybe you did. I don't know if you did or not. And then merging it with Discovery. So what we're talking about here is a new company called Warner Bros. Discovery, which is a very brilliant name, which is, going to be the merger of these two very big entertainment companies. And they have a new logo, which looks very Looney Tunes to me. Do you get Looney Tunes from that?
Yeah. I just hear the theme song. Graphic design is my passion. Oh boy. Yeah, this was a big one. I saw that. I can tell if this was going to be like a stalled one or maybe it wasn't going to go through. Seems like a lot for Warner Brothers to take on. Not to, I guess everyone else is doing it, so why not? But yeah, so Discovery, that's like and I love Discovery. So the TLC, I think Animal
like
Planet,
HGTV, I believe they have like Planet Earth, and they also have like
Food,
all those like home buildy shows.
Yeah, these are all the channels that like if I end up watching just in the background anyway. So I do love Discovery, and there's so much drama on TLC. I do like that. So maybe if they phase out Discovery Plus, because I want to see all those shows, but I don't want to pay for Discovery Plus. They just really thought that would be a good idea. They're like, no, it's not a good idea. But yeah, it seems, I don't necessarily know if this is going to give them, like if we're talking about streaming wars, how much of an upper hand that's going to be. I mean, 90 Day Fiance is pretty popular. That's probably one of their biggest assets. And then all of those ghost shows that they have on Travel Channel. So
the ghost shows.
They
own House Hunters. I love House Hunters.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's Discovery. I love House Hunters too. My favorite is the Mediterranean one, if we're going to be specific.
Of course, yes.
But I don't know. At this rate, it would be okay. Is it worth me getting? I don't know if they're gonna merge it with HBO Max, or if
they're smart, like
or they might do
gotta be the right move, right?
I wonder if they might do a bundle the way kind of Disney has done with Hulu and ESPN.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I just don't want to pay any more extra to watch anything else. I feel like I've reached a limit.
I'm betting a lot of people feel like that right now. I mean, I'm just going to take off things off the top of my head. Shall I? Okay. Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Peacock, Hulu, Discovery Plus,
Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Apple TV Plus. Can't forget about that one too. I think those are like some of the big ones. I said Peacock. I mean, yeah. It's getting a little silly, and I think it would be to their advantage to combine stuff together. And because I mean, more folk have to be subscribed to HBO Max and Discovery Plus. There's no way that's the one that wins out, assuming they do a combination. I mean, yeah, I think it's probably for the good, or at least for us, for now. And like part of me is like my anti-competition thing, like, oh, everything's merging together. But I mean, the streaming wars are the same about all those things. There's still quite a lot of options to choose from. Oh, Disney Plus, I forgot about that one. So I think it's probably good if they merge and make more stuff available, and take one thing out of the running to save people the trouble of having to pirate it.
Yeah, that reminds me of the like with Paramount Plus, because they have the new iCarly coming, which I thought I wasn't gonna like, but it looks like they're gonna make it a little more edgier, like Spencer said the D word, and I was like, oh, you couldn't say that on Nickelodeon, but I don't want to get Paramount Plus. So who knows how I'm going to watch it. But yeah,
Wait, what's the D
consolidate.
word?
It's damn.
Sorry, we didn't.
I think we're able to say that out of all the words, but but yeah, so it's kind of like I would be in favor of consolidating more of these. You know, it's not necessarily, you know, monopoly wise, it's a little tricky, but you know, for my wallet's sake, my sanity's sake, for all my passwords sake that I'm running out of, you know, combinations for the same password, I'm like, please, just please make it easier on me.
Yeah. Like I said, like I have really come around to HBO Max. It's kind of like my most used streaming service. Like for example, I'm watching this new show. What are we watching? What a great segue.
Ta-da.
I'm watching this show Hacks. Have you heard of this? This is Gene Smart, who played the older superhero on Watchmen. I remember her from like Frasier years ago. Really funny, cool actress. I've always liked her. She's like an older comedian who's kind of like her career is starting to fail a little bit. She hires like a young comedy writer to kind of be a dream team and like rethink her material and get it back on top. It's really good. It's definitely, it's funny. It's like a half hour long. I've been enjoying that one quite a bit. Still watching Warrior. I want to get into Mayor of Easttown because everyone's loving that a lot, but I haven't
I've heard a
quite
lot
taken the
about
plunge
that.
yet.
I think they had their
it's good.
finale this week, right?
Yes,
and something
it is.
happened too. Like HBO didn't air the finale during the time slot, or I don't know. I was like,
I think there was
scrolling
like
through.
a crash or something of
Ooh.
HBO Max. I believe. Don't absolutely quote me on that. I think there was like stuff was down for a bit. I mean, because I think it's getting more popular because this stuff is pretty good. Like it has like a rocky start a bit, and the name is still dumb, but whatever. I'm over that. They have enough good, like genuinely good stuff to draw people in. And if you can dump all like House Hunters, 18 versions of that, and Ghost Hunters, and whatever other hunting you're doing, Naked and Afraid, it could be a great combination of like prestige stuff you sit down to watch and stuff you put on while you're folding laundry or doing the dishes.
Right.
Kind of put on in the background.
Right. Did you want to share your Nevers thoughts? I know we're a little late. I thought you.
I'll do it really, really fast.
Yeah.
To Nevers ended. I mean, again, I watched it on HBO Max and a couple of weeks ago. What a weird show. What like a bizarre, like way more passion than know-how. I think I describe that show as.
Yeah.
I loved the passion in it. I loved the novelty and sort of the difference of it. But like, good Lord, they needed to like just like rewrite like that. That was the first draft of that show. Like that needed to be like on draft 3 or 4 before we like put it on TV.
Yeah, it did feel like it was like one of these things where you have a lot of ideas and you just kind of threw it all out there. But it could, you know, you bring in your creative writing teacher and he kind of helps you to consolidate those ideas and to narrow it down.
Precisely.
So yeah, that's how it felt for me as well. There were a couple of gems. I was like, wow, if we really just focused on this a little bit more,
there was
made it a
some
little bit
good
more clear.
stuff in there. Absolutely. Like good performances, good ideas. That last episode, like the first bit was the most baffling, dumb stuff I'd seen in a long time, the whole sci-fi section. But after that, I thought that was really, really quality. Like I liked the kind of exploration of who she was before she got possessed by Amalia. God, the twist I say in this show. I liked kind of going into the past. I think Laura Donnelly is a tremendous actress. I think she did a really good job. And as Julie says, I agree with you. I hope they do another season of Nevers. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it too. I would like them to do a couple of. Don't be afraid to do a rewrite or two on a script. It's okay.
Exactly. Yeah. And I caught up on the Bad Batch. There's a new episode coming this Friday, but I almost missed the last one because I was on vacation. I'm kind of like wavering between the show because sometimes it's like, you know, they kind of do this story of the week or villain of the week thing. And I think I read maybe the last review on Winter is Coming. I felt like I agreed with your reviewer where
Caesar's reviewing that.
Caesar, where he was kind of saying, you know, it would be awesome if things kind of picked up and weren't as repetitive, kind of like, you know, you kind of know, okay, the group is going to split up. One person is going to do one thing, the other group is going to do the other thing, and then, you know, they kind of all come back together at the end. So Yeah, for me, it's just kind of hard, I think, at this point because I want something to progress the story forward.
Mhm.
And now it is starting to feel a little kiddie to me, a little cartoonish to me. And I'm like, okay, I do kind of want something a little more grown up. Um,
That's that.
but
Well, let me ask you this: like,
uh-huh.
it's a Star Wars cartoon. It's on Disney Plus, so I guess I can understand why they would go a little cartoony. Like,
Mm-hmm.
is it consistent with the other Star Wars animated shows? Because I know those were like the typical, yeah, typical like cartoons, but also older kids and adults also like them because apparently they got into some heavy stuff. Like, are they like that, or is this more kind of kiddie than what those were?
I think the premiere to me was pretty outstanding, and I don't think I had much of a
Mhm.
complaint. I would say maybe the last 2 or 3 episodes, then now that they're kind of just like meandering a little bit, like there's stuff to do, but they just need to some shenanigans to fill in the rest of the gaps. So it's like when they get into the shenanigans, it feels a little more like season 1 of the Clone Wars is a perfect example of this. They were going places, but it was more just, hey, we're just creating a TV show. Kids are watching it. And it might have
Sure.
some Star Wars lore in the background. So for example, this last episode, they went into the backstory of like the Rancor from Jabba the Hutt's palace, which is it's a
That
crazy
big giant
idea.
monster.
Yeah, yeah, the thing that attacks Luke Skywalker. So I was like, okay, appreciate that, but it took some build up for you to see where it was going. Um, and all the other while, I was like, I could kind of care less, who they're trying to free. Or I don't know, other people might feel different, but this is definitely one of those series where it's just like, if you can just watch it, all the series comes out episodes and you can just binge it all the way through. That's what I wish I could do. But, for the sake of literally everything, I have to watch
Mhm.
it week by week and just kind of take it with a grain of salt.
I do worry about Disney and just their propensity that I always say this to kind of kind of like make it one size fits all. Like
Hmm.
I mean, it works. They want such a big audience that they kind of it's not really encouraged to be super original. Like like WandaVision was really really cool, and then it kind
Yeah.
of by the end sort of like this turned into a pretty cool thing. Falcon and the Winter Soldier had its moments, but it was also not eager to break the mold. Um,
Yeah.
it sounds a little like that, but it can always turn around.
Oh yeah, we still got a long way to go. There's like
Do
16
we?
episodes, I think, in Bad Batch.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
So yeah, I'm in it for long
Maybe
haul.
sometimes they should do the Netflix dump a few at a time strategy. I don't know.
That's what I'm
Perhaps that's
wondering.
good and bad, in it. Perhaps that's
Yeah,
context specific.
exactly.
Speaking of cartoons that are for older people or are meant to be or aren't be, but people watch them anyway. What I mean, I like those by the way. Like I watch Rick and Morty.
Hmm.
I'm watching that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime on Netflix, which is
Oh,
it's bizarre. I tried out MODOK, the MODOK show on
yeah. How's
Hulu, which
that?
is it's not bad. I mean, it's definitely in that Rick and Morty mode of like it's a cartoon, but we're all gonna curse and there's blood and stuff. But isn't that crazy and edgy and awesome? Um, but it's made with a lot of care. Patton Oswalt, who's like a nerd kind of icon, clearly knows what he's talking about and has a lot of affection for this character. And the jokes are good. It's good, easy watching. It's not gonna rock your world, but yeah, totally put it on while you do laundry.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I might check it out. It seems kind of like it has like a robot chickenish vibe, I think.
Yeah,
Or
it
no,
looks like it. It's like that clay. I don't know if it's
claymation.
actually stop motion, but I do believe
Richard says same company,
it's supposed
so
to look like stop motion,
yeah.
although I kind of doubt they're actually like modeling everything. But yeah, it's good. I kind of like that Solar Opposite show. It's also on Hulu. It's by the Rick and Morty creators and feels like it
Hmm.
is. It's like about aliens who go to Earth and they all look rocket adventures. Also, again, very vulgar, very like almost too cynical, like Rick and Morty. Like there's that edge of like I don't know, like dude, we need to be this down on people, but fun and jokes from
That's
really,
good.
really, really, really fast and furious. I fully will watch an adult cartoon. I have nothing against them.
Yay.
And Martha misses Things We Do in the Dark from FX, which I do. Oh, do you mean Things We Do in the Shadows? or Things We Do in the Dark? Because I love Things We Do in the Shadows to death. Things We Do in the Dark I have not heard of.
Could be the same. We'll see. We'll get that cleared up. But
yeah, Martha, seriously, if you mean What We Do in the Shadows, I am fully with you. That show is the best thing I've seen. Have you watched it yet, Mia? Or not yet? Have you considered trying it?
I still haven't. I feel bad for saying that I would watch it. And then I think it's because I don't open up like Hulu ever. So I think is it on Hulu? You can watch it because it's FX and then Hulu.
The whole FX on Hulu thing. Yeah, that show was, it's a wonderful show. Like, just really funny, really inventive. And in a lot of ways, like, just not inventive because it's vampires again, like funny vampires again. Oh, how original. But just the execution of it, it left me very happy pretty much every time. I can't wait for more of that show. The third season is in production, Martha. So look forward to more of that later. Any other thing you're watching, me, I want to talk about before we sign off? Or anybody out there watching anything or looking forward to anything you want to talk about?
No, I guess I'm looking forward to next week is Loki. So I'm
it's Loki. That's right. We'll talk about that next week. It's really exciting. All right. Well, we'll see you then. We're here every week on the Winter is Coming Facebook and YouTube channels at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time at the Facebook and YouTube channels. I already said that. Or you can listen to us in podcast form. iTunes, Google Play, wherever podcasts are available. Take the Black. Feel free to give us a watch, give us a review, give us a compliment, give us 18 stars when you can. And thanks so much for watching and listening. Goodbye.